Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? I am watching the end of this WNBA game. Couldn't get a chance to get on like on my normal time. Just had stuff going on. We had a storm here, so a lot of lightning and a lot of stuff was going on here in South Jersey. But I was watching the game, managed to get on. So I was like, you know what? I'll broadcast on both. So people gonna jump in. You can jump in on Pro Fan Hoops and you can jump in on Pro Fan Talk. What's up, Art? Appreciate you, bro. Watching this game. Stephanie White finally pulled Caitlin Clark out of the game. This game is pretty much over. This was a very spicy endeavor, to say the least. Very spicy endeavor. So, you know what? Because of everything, the way everything went down, good win. They started off very, 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 very ugly. I mean, the first quarter, that's probably one of the ugliest first quarters I've ever seen, one of the ugliest starts that I've seen Indiana have. They couldn't hit a mirror in the bathroom. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Raven Johnson just got another foul. It's 1:06 left, 85-69. So they pretty much got this under control. But the refereeing was absolutely horrible. I don't yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. They got some things right, they got some things wrong. I'll tell you what, man. Alyssa Thomas, she's a baller, but she got to be one of the most unlikable people in my opinion. And I don't think anybody could be worse than her. But DeWanna Bonner is. It's just weird. So, but in any case, they got to win at home. The team is supposed to be included early, but Indiana Fever got it together. They finally started hitting shots, and this is what happened when you hit open shots. You win games. Damn, they let that go, but I guess they're trying to get the game over with. But take your outside shot, Lex, and keep it moving. So, 41 seconds left. Let's see if they'll let him dribble it out. Who's that? Is that who's number 14? Why are you dribbling? Shoot the ball, Raven. Shoot the ball, Raven. Lord have mercy. This is going to be the longest damn 40 seconds ever. Oh, my gosh. What's her name? I want to see Passat. Is it Passat or Passot? I can't remember what her last name is. But they got it. Indiana got it together. Maisha Hines-Allen got kicked out of the game because she was going at Alyssa Thomas like, you ain't going to punk this one. We're not doing that. So good job, KK. KK Timpson can jump out the gym. She can jump out the gym. Let's see if she can hit these free throws. So let's get these last 9 seconds left. Why would y'all foul with 9 seconds left? So, like, what are you talking about? Natasha Mack's been having. Is that Natasha Mack? She's been having a rough go of it. So I took some notes. I didn't get in depth because the game was so ugly. I just decided to watch it. Some things. Leah Boston early was slow getting the ball up in the air on Alyssa Thomas. She had to wait, but Alyssa Thomas is strong as an ox, so you got to get up quick, get the ball in the air. Then coming off of the screen, they got AB for an offensive foul, which was kind of a weak call. What else? It was 11-3 with 5 minutes left in the quarter. Why did they call that a foul? She tripped over her own feet. Good grief, man. Good grief. Let's go. Let's get this over with. Let's get this over with. So inbound and let the clock run. Thank you. Don't even shake hands. Just get the hell up out of there. Just get up out of there, man. Nothing crazy. I don't even want to hear what you call it got to say. I don't want to see no after game interviews. Just get out of there. The only person I like on the Mercury is Cock Hopper because she's from Philly. She a North Philly girl. So I gotta show up for North Philly, man. Gotta show love for North Philly. So other than that, everybody else, the curmudgeon, that's Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner is just she's just not likable to me. But in any case, I gotta see what you call it. What is she saying? She got some more text tonight too. Caitlin Clark did. Yeah, they started calling everything in the fourth quarter because it was about to bust out. It was about to bust out. Yeah. In my opinion, I don't know this, John. I don't know this, but what it seemed like was DeWanna Bonner, and I'm saying this after the fact, after everything that happened, after she left the way she left. In my estimation, no professionalism because you when you sign a contract, you ain't have no problem taking their money. That's all I got to say with that. But it seemed like to me that she wasn't happy with a new player getting all the attention. Period. I mean, business is business, friends are friends. Don't confuse the two. You're not there to be friends with her. You're not there to be friends. You're there to play ball. And that is a part of professional sports. You do not have to get along with everybody on your team. The only thing you got to do is when you step on that court, when you step on that field, when you step on that pitch, when you step on that diamond, when you step on that ice, wherever it is, everybody got to be facing the same direction. Y'all, you don't have to like each other. You just have to respect each other and know what you're there for. Everybody got a job to do. So when you cut and run like she did, in my opinion, that ain't a good look on you. And you a veteran. So, because at one point, you was the toast of the town. And people had to adjust to you coming in the league. And I'm sure it was some people that didn't like it. That's just the way that the game goes. You got to play the game and the game ain't fair. That's the way it goes. That's professional sports. So a lot of these situations and a lot of everything that happened in the first 2 years, in my opinion, I thought it was like a lot of pettiness and jealousy. I thought it was a lot of bad girls, bad girls club type stuff. And even now, you see the bullying and not necessarily the bullying, but everybody want to pick on, everybody want to do the same joke. I saw Dejanay started that when with the flopping thing, where she would throw her head back, and then they did it last year, and then now they doing it now. I done seen so many people do it, and it's like you ain't got to go through all of that. Just play ball, because it ain't never gonna all go your way. So just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. What's up, GoldenEye? I don't know if any of y'all saw my. We'll get back to the game in a sec, but I don't know if any of y'all saw my thing on. I watched Pope B. Frank's video, and I was commenting on that video because he went back and was getting in touch and got some audio from somebody that used to play for Stephanie White at Vanderbilt and saying how bad she was at Vanderbilt and everybody left the team and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but since that happened, she done been in the WNBA, coach of the year, coach the all-star team. She done some good things too. So I'm very Not mixed, because I've said before and I've said on record, I'm not crazy about how Stephanie White coaches his team. However, um, at the end of the day, Stephanie White does not set picks. Stephanie White does not shoot jumpers. Stephanie White does not shoot free throws. So it's always on the people on the court. And a game like tonight was a perfect example. And I say this all the time. When they came out and was 0 for 11 or whatever it was in that first quarter, was that Stephanie White's fault? Don't give me that crap about you didn't like her offense, because it was plenty of open looks that just didn't fall. That ain't her fault. And I've said this before, you can run a bad offense and still get open looks at the basket. They weren't making buckets at all, because remember the phrase of the year, keep that same energy. That's my phrase of the year. That's my motto of the year. Keep that same energy. Because for everybody, and you can go and you can pull the receipts off of social media right now. I bet you it's a bunch of nonsense on social media right now where they was ripping on Stephanie White in the first quarter because Indiana looked so bad. So if you're going to rip on her then, you got to keep that same energy when they started making shots. Because clearly they was doing the same thing. The shots started falling. So I'm not so quick to just kick Stephanie White to the curb, because Stephanie White, she ain't stupid. She might not be doing the best job right now in this given situation, but the girl knows what she's doing, and still, she better than most people out there. Now, what happens after the season, that's a different conversation. But I've said it before, Stephanie White ain't getting fired. She ain't going nowhere. They're going to ride this train till because they probably, most likely, they're going to make the playoffs. And then you're going to see what happens. And it's not if you lose, it's how you lose. That's the situation. It's not if you lose, it's how you lose. So even in all of this is craziness. Look at them pointing at each other like DeWanna Bonner, like she want to get in the middle and throw hands. Like she want to get in the middle and throw hands. Like, stop it. Like, stop talking all the trash. But it goes both ways. The people from the Mercury are saying the same thing about her. What you gonna do? Point somebody out? It's like stop it. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, you can only blame S-Study for her rotations, challenges, and strategies. And listen, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. I am not crazy about her rotations or strategies, what she does with her substitutions all the time. A lot of this is a front office issue because they don't really have a bench. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go with it. So let me go to the box scores. Let me go to Yahoo. I'll bring y'all into the box scores in a second. Hold on. 32-23 Wings over the Storm. That's early too. Wow. Paige Becker's 8 points. AZ Fuzz 7 points. Dominique Malonga 7 points. I need Dominique Malonga to start dunking on folks. I know. All right, so let's look at the box scores. Caitlin Clark has got 6 technical fouls now, I think. 6. If you get 8, you get suspended a game. So I don't know what she's going to do. It is childish behavior, man, but let me be honest with you. And I got to keep it 100, man. A lot of it's ego. Like, even when you saw that if you were watching the replay, they showing the stuff with when what's her name with Maisha Hines Allen and DeWanna Bonner going at it. They show that a lot. Like, well, you point at me. Well, don't point at me. And then they jaw jacking back and forth. Like, for what? Like, for what? Like, can't nobody touch you in the game and all of that type of stuff. All of that is ego. Plain and simple. It happens. But the difference is when you're looking at somebody like DeWanna Bonner and stuff like that, and you're supposed to be a seasoned vet, you're on your way out. That's part of the old guard that a lot of fans they can't wait to get him out of there because they tired. They want to see everybody. That's why everybody's so excited about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Olivia Miles and Paige Beckers. And next year you got Juju and Hannah Hidalgo. That's another rivalry going to happen. You already know Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles. So wherever Hannah Hidalgo goes, I'm hoping she goes to a place where they're going to let her play. So you got, like I said, Juju and Hannah and what's the girl at Texas? Um, then you got Sarah Strong. You got Toby Fournier coming out not next year, but the year after. That's the girl that plays at Duke from Canada that was dunking when she was 13. Like you got a lot of great young players coming out. And a lot, and this is just my opinion. I think a lot of people are ready for this old guard to just move on. So you get what you get. But Kelsey Mitchell, 22 points, 8 for 20 from the floor, 3 of 10. Caitlin Clark, 3 of 10 from deep, 8 for 17 from the floor. She had a good night on the floor, 24 points, 9 assists, only 3 turnovers. Keeping it with when you got a point guard, in my opinion, anything below 5 is a decent night. She only had 3 turnovers. All right. 3 rebounds. Mo Billings, a double-double, 14 and 10. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And let's just go back. Let's just go back. What did Coach Marcus say? What did I say earlier? What did I say earlier? Let's check my receipts. Let me see. This is about half hour ago. This is going to be the longest 6 minutes ever. Yes. Not a dirty play by Cock Copper. Nope, 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 nope. MHA gets rejected. Tasha Mack. This was like in the first quarter. I was like, this is the fever shooting right now. And I got a picture of it, like a gif of a desert. Oh, look at that. 2 hours ago. What does Coach Marcus say? Pro Fan Talk. Mo Billings needs to show up tonight. How about that? Mo Billings needs to show up tonight. 14 and 10. 4 for 4 from the floor. She should have had 17 points tonight. She missed 3 free throws. An assist, a steal, and 6 offensive rebounds. That's what I'm talking about. And she got a block. That's what we need from Mo Billings. That's exactly what we need from Mo Billings. MHA, she only got 3 points, played 14 minutes before she got bounced. But whoever you're going to have in there at that big, that's what we need. All right. Lexi Hull, 8 points. Decent night from Lexi Hull. 2 of 2. Both of them 3-pointers. You know, that's kind of like the old Lexi. Lexi don't create much offense. She just takes the shots when they get it to her. I think Lexi Hull could be a much better aggressive player because, in my opinion, I think Lexi Hull has got some pretty good handles around the rim, better than most, and she can create her own shot. She just doesn't. She just doesn't. So, you know, first and fourth quarter, downright ugly basketball. Yes, a win is a win, but this one was not very enjoyable. It was enjoyable until the last half of the fourth, and then it just started getting stupid and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need all of the. We know what it is. You know what I mean? And they want to be, like I said, they want to get spicy with it and all that kind of stuff. It's all good. It's all good. That's the way the game is played, man. That's the way the game is played. There's a lot of ego, even especially with the ladies. But I'm working on some content now about Caitlin Clark. Ego can be deadly, man. This is what I used to say, and I use a lot of references when I used to coach my kids. When I used to coach Little League football, it's all the same. It's all the same. Little League football, basketball, high school football, basketball, any sport, track and field hockey. It doesn't matter. You deal with personalities. You don't deal with the people. You got to deal with their personality. That's what you got to deal with. I use the example, Sha'Carri Richardson has always been fast. She's always had that talent. Somebody had to get to her because she was a wild child. And she had the attitude and the roll in the neck, and she don't listen. Look at her personality. Everything that she went through and some of the stuff that she said and some of the stuff that she doesn't say now because she matured. That's what you need. You got to deal with people's personality. And I don't know if Stephanie White is necessarily good at doing that. Maybe she's getting better. Again, I saw if you saw my video about people bringing up Stephanie White's past at Vanderbilt, I looked up at the record of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was a decent team before Stephanie White got there, but they were not a good SEC team. So they wasn't winning many conferences, and I don't really remember the women going deep in the tournament. I'm sure they did every now and then. But the reason why I chose to do a video about that, because usually I'm not going to go directly at, and I wasn't attacking the dude. I know his content. I choose not to watch his content because some of the stuff is just, he be with Jason Whitlock and all of that. I don't like Jason Whitlock. So rather than, I look at it like this. If I don't like you, I just ain't got to watch you. Do your thing. You good. There's enough room for everybody to eat. But if I'm going to talk about you, I'm going to watch the content. And that's what I did. And my first thing I said was, well, you talking about what Stephanie White did at Vanderbilt. That ain't got nothing to do with what she's doing now. That just means she went through a bad stretch. There's lessons in loss. Don't get it twisted. And I will repeat the story I told. I was in Camp Coughlin. What year was that? I'm going to look that up so I can make sure I remember because I'm old. What year was that? Camp Coughlin, was that 1996? Tom Coughlin, Jacksonville. Jacksonville Jags. All right, Tom Coughlin, Syracuse, Boston College. He's with the Eagles. I forget he was with the Eagles. He was wide receivers coach in 84 and 85. Damn. Jacksonville Jaguars, 1995. I was right. 1995. I was in that camp. In Jacksonville. Camp Coughlin, that's what they called it. And it was ridiculous. When I say we teed off. Full tilt, 2 practices a day, 2 days, back when 2 days was real. And we in Florida. First time ever in my life I experienced day fog because the humidity was so heavy. You walked on the field, it's not a cloud in the sky, and literally it looked like I was in a Scooby-Doo cartoon. And the fog was right there. It looked like you can cut like a little donut out there. It was that thick. The walk from the locker room to the field was maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and you drenched in sweat by the time you get there. But the reason why I say this is because Tom Coughlin was notorious. He was a notoriously hard-nosed, old-school type coach. And he didn't have a lot of success. He should have had more success in Jacksonville. You had Mark Brunell and Jimmy Smith, and you had some good run. I forget, Fred Taylor was down there. You had some good athletes down there. I don't know if Fred Taylor played with him or not. I can't remember. But my point is that he beat everybody up in camp because that was the old school mentality. And then he tried to do the same thing in New York, and New York basically had a mutiny. I think that was right before old boy retired. The defensive, oh my God, what's his name? The defensive tackle up there that's on Good Morning America now. They had a mutiny. They was like, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change. So, and that's what happened. He had to change how he coached. So my point is that as bad as and as rough as Tom Coughlin was, he had to come to a decision, and he had to change how he went about things. So that same coach that nobody wanted to play for in the beginning ended up winning the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear about what she did at Vanderbilt. Getting back to the point, I don't want to hear about what she did at Vanderbilt. It wasn't, she didn't have a good run at Vandy. But there's lessons in loss. She had to do something good because she got the opportunity in the W. However you want to look at that. Because some people will look at that and say, well, anybody could have coached the W. Didn't nobody want the jobs? And all valid arguments. But she got the job. And you know what? She was coach of the year one year in 2025. So she must have been doing something right. So the only reason I say that is because I am not absolving her for her mistakes. I'm not absolving her or condoning some of the boneheaded moves in the offense and trying to play Caitlin Clark differently, in a different way than how you can get the best out of her. Let me say it like that. So, and you still got a lot of basketball to play to get it right. They still trying to figure things out. I still don't know what they're doing with this roster, but that's not her problem. That's a front office problem. Sophie Cunningham is the only one coming off the bench that can score on a regular. Raven's not ready. Tyasha Harris, no. KK Timmons, MHA. MHA can give you stuff every now and then, but if you're looking for somebody to score, where are you going? That's a front office issue. That's why Atlanta is so freaking good right now. Their bench is off the chain. Because if Angel ain't doing it, Alicia's doing it. If Alicia's not doing it, Ryan is doing it. If Ryan's not doing it, Nas is doing it. So they got a bench that goes down the pipe. Indiana's not quite there yet. And depending on the rotation and who's on the floor, but again, that's a front office issue. Win or lose, fire Stephanie White. I understand that. It's not going to happen during the season. That would be stupid. You never fire somebody during the season unless something like crazy happens. You never do that. She plays it out, dance with the one that brought you. Now, when you get to the off season and you don't like the way things went, then you make a decision. But in the middle of the season, there is no benefit from doing that, because if you do that, who you bringing in? Who you bringing in? And whether people like it or not, there will be some people on that team who will be loyal to Stephanie White for whatever reason, good or bad. So you messing with the integrity of the team. And what happens if you don't win? Maybe it wasn't her fault. There's always a little bit to go around, but the majority, let me get this dude. Let me get Tonio. Tonio, I want to get to your comment. Hold on. There's always a little bit to go around, but to me, in my opinion, the majority of the blame is always going to go on the players. Always. Because they are the ones that get it done. They are the ones that get it done. Even if the offense is bad, even if I mean, heck, if you got MHA and Tyasha Harris and KK Timpson and Raven, and you got all of the people on the court, they are professionals. So I still have expectations for them, even if they're coming off the bench. I don't care. When you at this level and now they are paying you like they are paying you, your job is to earn your pay. Telling you, I disagree, Coach. CC was about to mentally collapse, and the moment SW took her out of the first quarter and talked to her, she came back in, getting players involved, and was on the heater. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. A coach ain't no different than a player. It just manifests itself differently. Coaches are going to have good days and bad days, just like the players. My only point is that, and I'm saying this, and I'm looking at social media in the macro. I'm looking at everything, and I see, and I'm talking to this, me as a Indiana and Caitlin Clark fan, and I'm catching flack from other Indiana and Caitlin Clark fans, and I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? If I'm giving commentary on game film, to me, that's not an opinion. This is what I saw on film. If you are a Indiana fan and you get mad at me because I say Caitlin Clark need to move her feet better on defense, what you get mad at me for? That's a game observation. That's not my opinion. If I tell you Caitlin Clark's defense is fine, it's her isolation that's the problem. To me, that's a game observation. Defense is about angles and hustle. You got to get the right angle to cut somebody off. You got to get the right angle to get in somebody's passing lanes to deflect a shot or steal a pass. Angles and hustle. Isolation, that's one-on-one. You either got it or you don't. And you know what? Everybody was piling on Caitlin Clark, rightfully so. Everybody was piling on her because everybody was isolating her. Shout out to Natalie Nakase, who wrote the blueprint on that, because once she did it, everybody else followed suit. Now, in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a little bit better in isolation defense. She can't really do nothing about the bad calls. Can't do nothing about that. That's across the board. Everybody getting bad calls. So I agree with you, Tonio. Whatever Stephanie White did, like it ain't like they in the back going at it, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the locker room or something like that. No, it's a coach and a player. And sometimes you don't get along, and sometimes you got to figure out how to talk it out, because one thing that they realize is that they have to work together. Stephanie White not going nowhere. Caitlin Clark not going nowhere. So you got to figure it out. And the sooner they do that, the better off that whole team will be, because they got to do whatever they got to do this year, because next year, Sophie might not be here. Lexi might not be here. Kelsey Mitchell is out of there. So really, what do you deal with what you got now? One of the criticisms I have with Stephanie White is I think it seems to me that she is coaching like she still has the same team she had last year, and she doesn't. So you can't run it the same way. You can't. You got to take you got to make the adjustment, because you got somebody like Caitlin Clark that pulls the whole defensive squad to her. That's what gravity means. Every time she touched the ball, everybody's looking at her. Every time she drives the lane, everybody collapses on her, and it opens up stuff for everybody else. And for the most part, when they get their opportunity, Sophie been hitting her shots. Kelsey been hitting her shots. Aaliyah been hitting her shots. But when they don't, it looks bad. So all of the people, the reason why I say keep that same energy, all the people that was ready to throw Stephanie White out the window for that first quarter, look what they doing. They took Caitlin Clark out of the game. They scored 6 points. Wasn't nobody making shots. So you taking the whole game, not the game, but you're going to take that first quarter out of context. They took her out of the game, and then the offense only scored 6 points in the first quarter. That means somebody wasn't watching it. Because if you watch what I watch, wasn't nobody hitting shots. Nobody. Not Kelsey Mitchell, not nobody. Everybody was cold. They couldn't even make layups. So no, I'm not going to put that on Stephanie White. I'm going to put that on the professionals who are on the floor. And y'all already know, as much as I love Kelsey Mitchell, that's my homegirl. But guess what? I got expectations for her just like everybody else. So you got to keep it moving. And look what happened when you play yourself out of it. How many people probably watched that small section of the game, that first quarter, and was like, I'm turning this off. They suck. Stephanie White sucks. Caitlin Clark's overrated. Kelsey Mitchell dribbles too much. They went through all of that. But just let it play out. Let it play out. Let's see what happens in the second quarter. Let's see what happens in the third and the second half. Let's see what they do. Can they turn it around? And look what happened. They did what they had to do. They beat the team they're supposed to beat. That's all you can do. You're not going to always start out and everybody scoring 30 and everybody shooting 80% from the floor. You're not. They shot 80% from the floor the other night in the first half and lost the game. So you got to go with what you got, man. So back to the original point, Tonio. I agree. I'm not I don't agree with the mentally collapse. I don't think CC was about to mentally collapse. But you got to understand there's a meeting of the minds. Like we got to meet somewhere in the middle. Stephanie White's got to understand what Caitlin does. Do you think Stephanie White thinks that Caitlin is just trying to chuck everything up and she want to score points? And no, she know that that girl want to win and all of that. And Caitlin Clark knows the same thing about Stephanie White. You think Caitlin Clark thinks Stephanie White don't want to win? You think Kelsey Mitchell thinks Stephanie White don't want to win? Or MHA? Or Lexi Hole? Or Sophie Do you think any of them players on there don't believe in their heart of hearts that their coach and their teammates want to win? They do not. They don't believe that. They know that everybody wants to win. They know that everybody wants to win. But sometimes it just don't manifest like that. It just doesn't. So you keep it moving, you keep it playing, and you know, I still say there's no dominant team in the WNBA right now. The closest thing you'll get, I'm not even gonna say that. There's no dominant team in the WNBA right now. Las Vegas is playing the best. Minnesota's a close second. Atlanta is a close third. And I don't even know who I would put fourth. Dallas, maybe. I don't know. Because everybody can get got. Las Vegas can get got. Minnesota just got by the Mystics. Atlanta, they smashed Indiana the other night, but Indiana's beating them. So it goes back and forth. And when I say there's no team that's dominant, there's no team that's just dunking on everybody. That's like, if you play in this team, you have no chance. I have not seen that. Now they outlasted everybody in getting some good wins, but I ain't seen too many homecoming games this year. I ain't seen too many games like that. So, and I say all that to say everybody's got a shot. All you got to do is get to the playoffs, because guess what? Indiana wasn't supposed to have a shot last year. All you got to do is get there. Once you get there, I don't care where you ranked. I don't care what happened. Everybody's on the even playing field, because now you start back at square one. That's what it comes down to. Everybody's back at the same spot. So, it is what it is, man. So just let them keep playing. No, I'm not the biggest fan of what Stephanie White is doing. And let me say that again. And maybe that's just something us old dudes, us OGs, maybe that's just how we think, because we was raised that way. I will be 56 in about 3 weeks. My birthday is July 12th. If you want to send me something, I love birthday gifts. Me and my twin sister will be 56 years old. I done seen a lot. I grew up in the 70s. I was raised on hose water and freeze tag. Cincinnati, Ohio. Shout it out. For those of you that don't know, that's why I'm such a fan of Kelsey Mitchell, because I went to school and was fraternity brothers with her father, who passed away. That's why I'm biased with Kelsey Mitchell. But I can look at stuff. I can like a player. I can like a team and still keep it real. Game observation. Watch the film. Tell me what you see. Caitlin Clark can still be my favorite player, and I can still say, stop bitching to the refs. Kelsey Mitchell is still my favorite player, and I can still say, oh, you got to make that layup when you're going in hot. You got to make that. But the one thing I used to tell people, like, this happened to me one time when I was in college. I'm a running back. I fumbled the ball, mad at myself. And, when you make mistakes, athletes tend to want to let everybody know that they're upset. And the coach is like, you ain't got to do all that. Did you want to fumble the ball? Did you fumble on purpose? And it's like, absolutely not. They're like, okay. Or maybe the defense made a good play on you. They get paid too. So you just got to change your mindset. You just and the thing with the thing that I'm most critical of Caitlin Clark about, even though she's one of my favorite players, is the way she goes off on the refs and on the calls that don't go her way. Because I'm a big proponent of, and this is what I used to try to teach my young kids: don't get mad, get better. And never in the history of ever has somebody crashing out on the refs changed the call. Never. But having said that, Crash Out Willie, I agree with you 100%. These refs were booty cheeks. Not only were they booty cheeks, they was booty cheeks after somebody ate some White Castles. Bad. Horrible. And I don't understand. This is now, let me take it up another notch. Let me go up to the 19th floor. This is when I'm looking at Kathy Engelbert or Adam Silver or whoever's writing them checks for them refs. Like, what are y'all doing? But in the big scheme of things, what do you have to compare it to? Because the refs in the NBA are just as bad. The refs in the NBA are just as bad. We just done got used to that nonsense. We got used to that nonsense. After I saw what I saw with SGA in the conference finals, I was like, I don't ever want to hear shit about the women or the WNBA flopping. That's why I don't, the flopping stuff, miss me with that. Because everybody flops. Caitlin Clark flops. Angel Reese flops. Jordan Canada flops. Michaela Onyenwere flops big time. Everybody flops. One way or the other. Flopping ain't nothing. All you trying to do is sell the foul. And you'd be crazy not to. So when people are doing all of this stuff and acting like it's a big deal, trying to clown somebody for doing it, and then what happens? They end up doing the same thing. Jordan Canada tripped over her own feet twice. One play, she tripped over Angel Reese's shoes, and they called a foul on Caitlin Clark. And I was like, what are y'all watching? Flopping. I ain't mad at it. If you get the call, you get the call. Because the call you bitching about, you're going to benefit from later. That's just the way that it goes. That's just the way that it goes. She is getting held and grabbed, bro. That is not up for debate. The bad calls are not up for debate at all. If you think she got a good whistle, you're right. If you think she getting held and getting fouled and not getting the calls, you're right. But it's across the board. Watch every game and just mark down the missed calls and the calls that you thought were wrong. It's everybody. It's not just everybody wants to concentrate on Caitlin Clark because all of the eyes are on her. If they didn't have the TV deal that they had and the Indiana Fever wasn't playing 40 whatever games on national television, everybody wouldn't be saying it like that because it would be spread out. But the rest will still be bad. I saw when Asia Wilson was talking to the refs and she was all of this and doing all of that to the refs. I saw that. But everybody only talk about it when the other girl do it, when Caitlin Clark do it. I saw Kelsey Plum. She notorious for getting on the refs case. So I guess don't get me wrong. I still don't like it. That's an issue with me and my philosophies as a coach. I don't like that. I tell my players, let me worry about the refs. I need you to play. Because if you say something, you ain't getting no calls and they ain't changing nothing for you. So all you got to do is worry about the next play. That's my philosophy. But you can't do that with pros because it's too much ego involved. Let's keep it real. It's too much ego involved. So it is what it is. Crash Out Willie. I am not disagreeing with you, bro. I am not disagreeing with you. I know she be getting grabbed. I know the whole freedom of movement. The refs are horrible. They're terrible. That is the only thing the referees in the WNBA, that is the only thing they are consistent with. They are bad. It's the same thing again as was going on 2 years ago, except now it's exactly the opposite. Remember the first two seasons? Remember 24 and 25? They wasn't blowing the whistle at all. Now they done gone to 180. Now it's bad. Now they blowing the whistles for everything. You like, really? Somebody standing there with their hands in the air with 6 inches of space between you and the ball carrier, and they calling the foul on you. That's they gone completely the opposite direction. And it's still consistently bad. So Melvin. Hey man, welcome to pro sports. Welcome to pro sports, bro. We can act like we don't like it because we don't like it, but we've been dealing with it forever. And this is where we got to check ourselves as men, because the only difference is we watching women. When the guys do it, ain't nobody had a problem with it. Or you were so used to seeing it that it was white noise. You didn't care about it. This ain't nothing new. Dropping F-bombs and getting mad at the refs. And when we watched Dennis Rodman, and we watched the Bad Boys, and we watched the Malice in the Palace, we didn't see all of that. So we've seen the worst of the worst. And the only reason it gets so much attention now, in my opinion, is because it's the women. We just not used to seeing the women like that. I remember saying this in 2024 when everybody said they not letting the girls play. They gonna hurt somebody and this. And I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? And I was like, you know what? I found that game when Candace Parker was playing with Detroit. And the Detroit Shock, and I think she playing with Chicago at the time. I don't know. It was just a all-out brawl. Women throwing haymakers in the whole nine. So they can get down and grimy too. We just not used to seeing it with the women. And let me say it like this. And again, I got to keep it 100 because I'm a man with two sisters. I got a twin sister and an older sister, and we all state champions. We were all athletes. So I've seen it. And I've seen how guys treat women and look at women differently. It's natural. It's subconscious. It's subconscious. But it ain't nothing different. You think these ladies ain't been playing hard since day one? As much as people dislike Cheryl Swoops, most of the people that talk about her ain't never seen her play. Cheryl Swoops was nasty when she played. But you in a new era now, and it died down, and everybody just ain't used to seeing all this stuff, man. And I'm like, let them play. The ego, the trash talking, all of it. Let it go. The refs need to do what they're supposed to do. That's the problem. That's the problem. They need to let them do what they got to do. If they're going to cuss at you, I ain't got no problem with somebody stepping up in Caitlin Clark's face because she talking trash. And my thing is, if she can talk trash, she better be ready to take it. I ain't got no problem with that. Talking trash is part of the game. Now, if they go to the next step and you want to get physical, that's something different. But trash talk is part of the game. And now that they making money, you can go ahead and push and shove and all of that kind of stuff. If you want to, it's going to cost you money. How much is MHA going to get fined tonight for getting ejected? How does that work? I don't know. I know it's different than the NFL and stuff like that. If you do stuff in the NFL, I mean, hell, the NFL will fine you $12,000 for not having your socks up. And that's real. I'm not making that up. They would fine you if you didn't have your socks pulled up. Silly stuff like that. But my point is that when you making the money that they're making now, the money that they've always worked for and always asked for and always thought they deserve, now you making that money and you a mainstream sport, there are some expectations from you. You can't keep getting mad at what they saying on social media because you make $1 million a year. That's part of the job now. You got to deal with it. You can't control it. You either turn it off or just let it flow. You ain't gonna change it. So it is what it is. Um, she's the face of the NBA and the whole world. The world don't talk about anyone else but CC. Uh, that's true to an extent. I've had guys on here. I had a guy from Indonesia who jumped in the chat. This was a while ago, a couple months ago, and he told me, he said Caitlin Clark is everywhere here. So I agree with that. I agree with that. But Caitlin Clark is starting to level out. She's reached her altitude. Now she's cruising. She still got some things to clean up about her game. I still say if she can get her 3-point average up, she should be close to averaging 30 points a night. I believe that. But her 3-point shooting has just not been great. Sophie is the best 3-point shooter on that team. Either Sophie or Kelsey right now. But she's shooting a lot better, and she's shooting more shots. I see her shooting a lot more mid-ranges this year than she has the previous 2 years. She just didn't do it. So it is what it is, man. Listen, Melvin, this is what I used to tell people, or not used to, I still tell people. The WNBA is not looking for old fans. The WNBA as it exists now is not looking for people that have been following the league since Cheryl Swoops got drafted, since Tina Thompson, since Maya Moore, since Candace Parker. They're not looking for them people. What they're looking for is a new crowd. They're looking for a new crop of fans. They're looking for people that group that's following Angel Reese everywhere. They're looking for people that follow Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd, and that's going to follow Juju Watkins and Lauren Betts and and Raven. And I thought it was the greatest thing the other day when down in Atlanta when Dawn Staley brought her whole team and she had 6 players on between both teams playing. Like everybody's looking for the new faces, and they looking for these new fans that are coming on board now. They don't care if you've been watching for 18 years. They looking for new money going forward. So to me, it's one and the same, but you still got to be invested. To me, that's the key. You got to be invested. To me, I look at somebody, and I said this before, and I'm not saying this to be a braggart, but I said to that point, that the WNBA is looking for people like me. This is my 4th year watching the W. And let me rephrase that. This is my 4th year, my 4th year being invested in the W. Let me say it like that. I've watched the W because I was watching the W when Kelsey Mitchell came out of Ohio State. But I was watching Kelsey Mitchell because I knew who her dad was. So and plus WNBA wasn't on TV a lot. So when I caught it, Indiana playing, nope. Indiana, nope. Oh, that's Indiana playing. Kelsey played for them. Let me see what they're doing. So I was watching it, but I wasn't watching it. I would watch to see her. That's it. I didn't care about nobody else. I didn't care about Taurasi. I didn't care about anybody else. I didn't care where Candace Parker was playing. And Candace Parker was probably the biggest name that I knew from her days at Tennessee. So the WNBA is looking for people like me who have gotten invested, paying for the league pass, done bought merch, watching every game. So I'm contributing to endorsements and stuff like that, and the viewership numbers. I'm contributing to all of that because I'm invested. Now I'm paying money that I normally wouldn't pay. Now, when I first started, I could barely name 3, 4 players. Now I can go down a list and name 15, 20 players by heart because I'm invested. I'm watching the games. I'm studying the stats. I'm watching games and taking notes, all of that type of stuff. I'm taking notes watching the WNBA like I do when I watch the NFL because I'm invested. That's what they're looking for. New money. The old money's been here, but the old money wasn't going to games, wasn't supporting, all of that type of stuff. So now they got the new crop and the new money, and now they're going forward. So, it is what it is. Everybody got their opinions, man. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one, bro. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand your point, man. It's all good. So we're going to keep, they're going to keep growing. And here's the thing that lets you know, and all of these old fogey stogies and all of these old white men that don't like Angel Reese and all of it, and you got a big contingency of black folks that don't like Caitlin Clark. It's on both sides. It's not isolated. Let me be honest with you. I was offended 2 years ago when that girl, what's the girl's name? The co-owner, Renee Montgomery, the minority owner for the Atlanta Dream. When she came out and did that thing talking about they not like us, talking about the Indiana Fever stands or fans or whatever. And I was like, I don't resemble that remark. And just because I like a particular player, don't lump me into that category. I was offended. Because my situation is different. My background is different. I played pro ball. I know what this is like. I know how the sausage is made. So, I'm one of them dudes that'll keep it real. I love Caitlin Clark, but I will rip her a new one if she have another game with 8 damn turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So just keep it basketball, keep it real, man. So it's all good. Somebody who had the Tiff come talk about AJ Brown. Leave AJ Brown up in New England, man. Let him enjoy his clam chowder. We give CC her credit. Damn right, we give CC her credit. CC is the number one reason that the women's basketball has exploded the way it has. And anybody that doesn't see it like that, if everything that you've seen can't change your mind, that's okay. The proof is in the pudding. Nobody started moving to bigger arenas until she showed up in the league. Nobody. They're doing it now, and other people are moving the needle a little bit better, but it didn't. Nobody was doing that until she came in the league. That does not mean that she is better than everybody else. And people got that misconstrued. Just because you're the most popular player doesn't mean you're the best player. Asia Wilson was and is still the best player in the league. Fee Collier, when she was healthy, was a close second. So everybody, I said this before, Caitlin Clark can't make all the damn commercials. She can't do it. Now you got a whole nother crop of people waiting for the next CBA. Waiting for the next CBA. Because the money they're gonna make in the next CBA, that's when you're gonna see some things. Because the jump in pay is gonna be better because you're gonna have 4 to 5 years of statistical data that says, hey, we got this many million viewers consistently. And by then, you'll have another crop of stars, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will be 5 and 6 and 7 year vets. And you got these kids coming out of college, rinse and repeat. And all of these little girls running around with number 5 jerseys and running around with 22 jerseys and the Paige Beckers jerseys. All these little girls are going to end up being 15, 16, 17 years old about to go to college. Rinse and repeat. That's the way it goes. So, Diana and Rabel. Yeah, they was. Yeah, they was. Smash and grab. So that's what Diana was doing, smashing and grabbing that information. uh that momentum came from the college from that championship game. Yes, it did. That was the spark. But don't get it twisted. And I'm saying this about me because I was watching LSU and I was pulling for LSU. But I had never seen I didn't let me say it like this. That year, earlier in the year, I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was. I didn't know until somebody did a news story on her. Iowa played a basketball game in the football stadium, and they filled it up. And then they showed a thing about the students going to the student center to get tickets at 3:00 in the morning, and the game is not until 8. Stuff like that. And then when they show the girl play, and she hitting 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3, and she doing her thing, and I was like, oh, she kind of nice. And then what happened? She came up against the buzzsaw that was Kim Mulkey and the LSU Lady Tigers. And Angel Reese and Flau'jae and Kateri Poole. Don't forget about Kateri Poole and what she contributed. And that team that they had was nasty. And they were the better team. And then Caitlin Clark took Iowa back to the finals. And then they ran into the buzzsaw that was the undefeated Lady Gamecocks. Dawn Staley and them. Camilla Cardosa. Tessa Thompson. Malaysia Full-Wiley. Again, she came up against a better team, and she still balled out. She still had, 32 points or something like that? But she came up against a better team. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, we're going to get back to it, man. Football's here pretty soon. For those of you who are on my stream on Father's Day, I did get my drone. My drone should be here tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, it should be fun, man. So we got some good stuff coming in. I'm about to land this plane. I appreciate everybody coming out. I broadcast it on both channels because I normally go live on Monday nights at 9 p.m. And I just got busy today. It's been a busy week. It's going to be a busy week this week. So I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done. So. But it's all good. I appreciate you, Tiff. I appreciate you, Art. Everybody that's regular on my squad. Melvin Harris, if you ain't subscribed, get on the program, bro. Listen, man, I will tell anybody. We grown folks around here. I ain't got to agree with you to respect your opinion. That's how I do. Like I said, I was born in the 70s, man. So I grew up at a time where you could discuss your opinion and your take. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't agree with you don't mean we can't talk. That's how I feel. So, and plus, I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but all right. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all week. I'll be back later on. I am definitely going to be back on the mic tomorrow. I might try to do no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to go live at lunch, but I'm busy this week. I got a project that I got to do. So a lot of times I'm working through my lunch. So I don't know. So just stay tuned. I'm going to have some more content out for you, and we're going to keep this thing moving. So I'm going to get up out of here. All right. I appreciate y'all. And you know what? I got to update my intro. And I will do that. But we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate you. Enjoy your time. Holler at y'all later. Peace.
Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, run the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.